We're at the Cherohala Skyway Festival today. Actually, we're standing here at the Charles Hall Museum and Gift Shop here in beautiful Tellico Plains. And there's going to be a lot of bluegrass music that's coming up today, and also the official opening of the Uncle Josh Graves Memorial. Of course, Uncle Josh Graves, the king of the Dobro and the man that actually introduced the Dobro to bluegrass music. That's all coming up today. But until then, a whole bunch of bluegrass music. Stay with us.
Don't think that I'll be hanging here while you're having fun. You tell me there are more fish in the sea. From now on, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll lock the door, put out the cat, and I'll go step into. Yes, I'll go step into my honey, I'll go step into. I'll lock the door, put out the cat, and I'll go step into.
This is in the 30s model Dobro. It's maybe a national, which national made Dobro. It's got the original cover plate. The cone's original. This is what they call a lug cone, and you can see the spider sits down on the lug. So that's original tailpiece. That's the best tailpiece you can find.
I'm and I'm the Monroe County Tourism Director, and this is a super special moment, not just for tourism in Monroe County, but for anybody and everybody that's ever lived and just loves Monroe County, especially Tellico Plains, Tennessee, and enjoys music and loves bluegrass and the legacy that Josh Graves has left. So, for those of you who do not know, the Tennessee Music Pathways is actually a statewide trail that was developed by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. The trail connects visitors to people, places, and genres that are significant to music, not only in Tennessee, but in America. So these folks didn't just make music great in Tennessee, but they influenced music all across our nation and the world, and Josh Graves is one of them. We are proud that Monroe County and Tellico Plains will now be featured as a location, allowing us to showcase one of our own, Uncle Josh Graves, and his contributions to bluegrass music. So, if you guys will give a warm welcome to Mr. Dave Jones from the Tennessee Department of Tourism.
Everybody claims they own something about music, right? And we really own it. I mean, we don't have to make this stuff up, because there are actually 7 genres of music they call Tennessee home. And it's blues, bluegrass, country, gospel, soul, rockabilly, and rock and roll. So I'm here today to bring you one of our Tennessee Music Pathway markers. Belena, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. So there we go.
Dave gives me too much credit. As soon as I became the tourism director, someone said, "Hey, Belena, you want to know something cool about Tellico Plains?" And I was like, "What is that?" And she said, "Josh Graves was born there. He's from Tellico Plains." And this lady is a massive part of historical preservation throughout Monroe County. And the fact that we have an opportunity to preserve some of our musical heritage through this is even better. And her name is Jo Stakely, your Monroe County Director of Archives.
Like Belena said, last fall when we were very fortunate to have Blaina join our Monroe County team. I told her that we did have someone eligible for the Tennessee Music Pathways, and his name was Josh Graves, and he was born in a little white house on a hill just down the road. And he's played such an important part in bluegrass music over the years. Actually, he's named the King of Dobro because he is the one who really has kept the dobro in bluegrass music all these years. And it's so important for us to preserve that. It's important for us to preserve our history and observe those who have played an important part of making Monroe County what it is. And it's important to us to be able to say, hey, look here, the King of Dobro was born right here in Tellico Plains. That's something cool, something we should be very, very proud of. And I'm just very fortunate that I was able to play a little bit of part of that, and it just so happened that it seemed like the stars and everything else just aligned to where we could have this event at the Cherohala Skyway Festival, and we got to do the unveiling, and the Dobro competition that we've had planned since last year just fell into place to be on this day too, so it's just been great, and just thank you so much. I'm going to introduce our county mayor, Mitch England.
Thank you, Miss Jo, Blaina, Dave. Thank you for your presentation. You know, today is a very special day. Not only it's a special day for Monroe County, it's a special day for the Graves family. One thing that's very special about Monroe County is we love our own. We love our people here in the county. And you know, young people today have heroes and people they look up to that sometimes is not the best to look up to. But we want to honor some true heroes. And Mr. Graves is one of those heroes that has made Monroe County proud. And Joe has elaborated that he's been dubbed the King of the Dobro, and how excited we are about that. How excited we are to have our location here is a pathway location for music. You know, this past week I was in Nashville. I had to go to some meetings. I passed by the Ryman Auditorium every day to go to these meetings, and I thought, you know what, Monroe County is going to get to showcase some music as well. And today's that day. And if I could have Tim come up, and we're going to honor and we're going to love this family today, and that's what Monroe County is all about. It's not about me, it's not about Blaina or Joe, it's about this wonderful family and this wonderful county.
We've got 3 of them here.
Absolutely. And it says, Monroe County Bicentennial Event, the Josh Graves Birthplace Memorial on the Tennessee Music Pathway, October 26, 2019. Whereas the County of Monroe was established on November 13, 1819, and continued to serve its citizens for 200 years. And whereas Mr. Josh Graves was born in Tellico Plains, Tennessee on September 27, 1927, and amid a successful music career was inducted into the IBMA Hall of Honor in 1997. And whereas Monroe County wishes to honor Mr. Graves and his legacy, we hereby present the Graves family with this certificate of gratefulness and recognition of Mr. Graves and his impact on bluegrass music and, most importantly, Monroe County. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is such a wonderful honor. You know, it really is. And Uncle Josh, y'all, you know, he was born here. He was. Y'all don't realize, like I do, what the impact he had on bluegrass music. He was a major star in bluegrass. I've been doing this. I've been playing bluegrass music 44 years, and all I've ever heard about Uncle Josh was great things. And I asked him one time. I said, "How does that happen?" He said, "You treat everybody like you want to be treated." And that's what he did. He was such a kind person to young people coming up to play dobro. He brought me a dobro when I was 14 years old up here at the Roundhouse. That's where he brought it to me, and a stack of records. And he said, "Here you go, kid. You can hear this. You can play it." And I started. But he didn't do that just for me. He did that for every young person there was. I mean, he wouldn't give them a guitar and a stack of records, but he'd give them a record and say, "Here, try to play this." And he was so influential. If there's a dobro player out there, they were influenced by Uncle Josh. No two ways about it. He put that instrument into bluegrass music. If he hadn't, it wouldn't have been here. You know, and I have to say that I've followed in his footsteps forever. And it's a wonderful road to follow him, because he left such a wide path, you know, for all of us dobro players, and Jerry Douglas and Mike Already and all those guys that were great players. They learned from Uncle Josh, you know, and just like I did. And so he was a wonderful man, and I'm honored to be part of this today. So,
For those of you who aren't familiar with Tim, he's a Grammy Award winner himself and a member of the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. So it's an honor to also have him here, as well as his brothers. We appreciate it so much. For you guys allowing us to display these items on loan, that means a whole lot to us. And just know that we are very appreciative as a community to have you guys here, to have these things here, and to just know that you guys are just as excited as we are about making sure that people continue to know about Uncle Josh.
yeah. That's a good sounding guitar. I should have kept that one.
You go right ahead. I can see. All right.
Y'all ready? There we go. All right.
I'm Norman Humphrey from Madisonville, Tennessee.
I'm Jim Humphrey from Madisonville, Tennessee.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the experiences that you've had with Uncle Josh Graves.
Well, I got to know Josh. My brother David and I were in a band with Ted and Tim Graves, Josh's nephews. And when Josh Graves would come to visit, we would go up to their house up here in Tellico and jam. So I got to know Josh real well. And I played the bass for this group, and he found out I could play the bass pretty good. So he started asking me to come along with him to different bluegrass festivals and play bass for him as he traveled the country. And I did for a number of years and got to know Josh. He was a champion of a guy, great guy, incredible musician, and people loved him wherever he went. I mean, he was a game changer. He changed bluegrass music as we know it today because of the dobro.
Uncle Josh Graves, the king of dobro, the man who brought dobro to bluegrass music. His memorial was officially opened today at the Cherohala Skyway Visitors Center here in beautiful Tellico Plains, Tennessee. It's officially opened. Be sure you come and visit it soon. Reporting in Tellico Plains, Mike Anderson for WGSM Radio News Tube.